it go. Let's in the morning, wait, hang, that's people trying to enter your brain. This is what you gotta do if you hear people just try to say. And I hold that ruler, and I aim for the sky. When I rewind, we mean I tell me a lie. Fuck you, shit, I shoot my knife. And I know I take your life if you gon' try. And I know I'm destined to die. I go by the code, and I know I'm down with the ruler. Half the shit you facing, you really don't know what you doing. On side, I'm out there like don't talk me. Ask about me, I put things up in motion. On side, who want it? I'm about there like don't talk me. Ask about me, I really put things up in motion. Put things up in motion.
Say Chase Sexton and his inconsistency. I'm looking here at the results, and it shows here that he led 10 laps, and then Tomac led the other 13.
Yeah, I mean, he was leading. He was running away with it. He was gone, and there was one little spot. He swung out a little extra wide. It shows it as clear as day on video. Instead of hitting the line he normally hits, he moved over about maybe that far, maybe 6 inches. And there was a soft spot there. When it did, it knifed the front end. Boom, over the bars he went. I mean, that quick.
Yeah.
At their pace, as fast as they're going, the slightest little stutter step, and yeah, boy.
You're in for a ride.
Look at poor old Aaron Plessinger. Dude, I've never been so upset in my life. I wanted to cry for him. I mean, you led every single lap, and you decide, I'm going to stand this time instead of sitting, and rips him right off the bike.
Yeah. That kid's got the potential to win. I mean, he's up there in rankings too, and I think it's because he's not like a consistent top 5 guy every race. You kind of want to pull for him more when he is out front. But yeah, it was a very emotional. I mean, it was emotional for everybody, I feel like, when he went down. But during the post-race interview, he was saying, you know, get back on that cow or bull or whatever it is and finish riding. But he's got the passion for the sport for sure. You can tell he was upset.
Well, AP is an amazing person. If you ever get the opportunity to meet a pro rider, I hope it's Aaron Plessinger. I mean, he is as good at down to earth. He could be you'd be standing beside him, not even realize he's a pro rider. He's that down to earth. I mean, he is the most awesome guy that you'll ever want to meet. His dad, Scott, again, awesome guy, runs a track up in Ohio. My buddy Chris Maynard with Maynard Race Performance was buddies with him, and they spend a lot of time together at their track. I mean, that family is just a great bunch of people. So when Aaron was up front, I'm up on my chair just cheering for him. So happy. It'd been his very first ever win in the big premier class. I mean, it was so awesome, and it just didn't happen. But, oh well, I got off subject again. I know you're talking about Chase.
You're good, man. Hey, it's like I said from the get-go. Hey, I'm all open ears. You know, if we get off topic, it is what it is. You know, it's all about motocross and dirt bikes, and it's just a chat room pretty much, man.
That's it. Well, there's one thing about it. You can see my passions all motocross.
Oh, yeah.
So ain't no doubt about that, buddy.
No, man. And that's something I love when I'm talking to everybody. It's just you feel that connection for the passion of the sport. Let's talk about old Dean Wilson. You know, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but there was rumors that he's supposed to retire after this year. I mean, and he's fell back in points for I don't think he's really done good since he's been on the 450.
He's had some tough get-offs here lately, man, between the foot peg up the butt. I mean, that was that's one that nobody wants to deal with right there, buddy. I mean, and Dino being Dino, he handled it like a champ. You know, he made fun of it and everything else. I mean, Dino's just Dino.
Yeah. I mean,
now, even since he's been on the Honda, I thought he was really going to come out firing and looking good, but he keeps having these crazy freak wrecks and crashes.
Yeah.
Another one I thought was really going to be good, Christian Craig, another one.
Yeah.
And
I was
he's
just looking at
struggling,
him.
you know.
Do you think it's the bike? Do you think it's from him switching from Yamaha to Husqvarna?
I don't know. That's a hard one to say there. I think there's a big difference in platform, power delivery, and rideability between those two brands.
And the competition too.
Yeah. And of course, stepping up to the Premier class is a lot different too. But now the Yamaha, which is one of the reasons why I told everybody that when Eli mentioned he was switching to Yamaha, I told him hands down he'll kill everybody.
Oh yeah.
They're like, how do you figure? Eli Tomac's the best corner man in the business, in my opinion, hands down. He rides a corner like you would a two-stroke, runs in there wide open, dumps the clutch, and lets it eat. Well, the Yamaha's power delivery is all about that. It's all about that hard kick at the bottom. It's all about that jerk and all the stuff that all the other brands have gone away from to make it smoother and easier to ride. Yamaha still had that. Which, in my opinion, was what made Eli so dominant. He's got all kinds of power.
Oh yeah. And that's another thing I was looking at. Him and Cooper Webb, they're going to be going into next week, both with red plates.
Tied. Yes, sir. Tied.
With, I got to show love to Cooper Webb just because he's a Carolina boy. But, dude, he took off last season. I know they had a kid. He raced a few of the local stuff. He actually showed up to 221 with Chad Reed.
With Chad Reed, awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And for him to be off for a season and then get back into training and is in a championship contention spot, dude, that's massive in my books.
It's very massive. Now, I'm not per se a Webb fan. I have my reasons, just whatever, but I have to admire the kid for what he's done and consistent. There's not a whole lot of riders out there that get stronger as the race goes on. That's always been his MO, even back in the lights class. He'd just sit back there mediocre to about the 15-minute mark, and all of a sudden he'd find another hammer and drop it and just blow their doors off.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of riders that do that. Mm-mm. And anybody that can let Eli lead the race to the halfway point and then start catching Eli Tomac, okay, I kind of have to say you pretty much the man in that aspect, because nobody runs down Eli Tomac.
No.
Especially as the track gets rougher. But Coop's just like Eli. The rougher it gets, the more it goes away, the better Coop rides too.
Yeah.
So that's going to make it tough for those two.
Here lately, dude, the ruts have been ridiculous.
Indianapolis, man, that place was, that was nasty.
Yeah, it was. I want to bring up another rider, Adam Cianciarulo.
Yeah, man.
He was a big prospect coming out of the amateur ranks, and he did good in the 250s, but then the injury started catching up. Do you think he's kind of fallen off? Do you think he's going to ever win a 450 championship?
Oh no, I think the best is yet to come for AC.
Okay, I'd like to hear that.
I think he's in the building stage right now. He's getting good starts. He's up towards the front. He's just not there all the way yet where he can stay that whole time. That's why he fades, because he's just coming back. I think he's had 4 races now. I mean, that's not many since all these injuries that he's had, and he's been up towards the front almost every time. I mean, he's got the speed. He's got that. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. And I watched an interview that he did. I want to say it was the Ouija show or maybe one of the pre-race things, and he was talking about how a 5th place today makes him happy. He's good about that. He said, now, 5th place when I was a rookie, it would have been detrimental. I thought the world ended. This is not going to work. So as he's matured, he's found how to find the love again, the fun in the sport. And once you start having fun, it's you can go anywhere from there. Yeah. And I swear we have not seen the best of Adam Cianciarulo yet. It's coming. It may be outdoor, but it's coming.
And he's always been good in outdoors too.
Yeah. And he's so tall. He's the right size for a 450. He's older. He's stronger. I look for the outdoor season to be better than the Supercross season as far as competition wise.
Oh yeah, especially with the 250s. You'll have Deegan. You'll have Hunter. I mean, you'll have all those big 250 guys all on one gate instead of having the East and West. So
The
You know,
East-West shootout this year will be interesting.
I think it will be too.
And you know, coming in the next week we got an off week, but the following week we're in Phoenix, and it's a triple crown.
Yeah.
Even Jet said it on his interview. Oh, when they told him it's a triple crown, he said, "Oh." He's like, don't. Why'd you want to tell me that? Because Jet has not had very much luck in the triple crowns.
No. And I think it was last year, wasn't it? Christian Craig and Jet Lawrence, they got into, or it was Christian Craig and somebody else. They were going into the back section.
Talking about Freezy when Freezy cleaned his plow.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that was just. I seen Christian Craig fly off the bike and smack the wall. I'm just like, oh.
Dude, that was a gnarly crash, man. Poor old Freezy. He always got them good starts, and then he was a monster to pass.
Oh,
so there's another one. In my opinion, was way worse than Barsha.
But Freezy.
But he don't get nowhere near the slamming that Bam Bam gets, you know.
Yeah.
But oh well, it is. It makes for good, interesting racing.
It does.
I mean, back in my pro day, my modified 125, both foot pegs looked like this. They wasn't straight no more from beating and banging in the freaking corners, and that's a fact. I mean, that's just the way it was done. You run into the first turn, it was just beat and bang and hammer and smack. Now, granted, it wasn't no T-bones.
No.
I'll always go against that. It wasn't no cross jumping, trying to take somebody's head off or something like that. But to do a slide job on somebody, you see somebody up in a berm and you run in and smack them. Oh, that was just normal everyday stuff. That was what you did. The goal was to come in fast enough to let your tires hit their tires, and you shoot underneath them. They fall over, and you keep on trucking.
Yeah,
that was the whole plan.
Or you could look at it as, you know, with the slide job, if you're taking the inside and they're on the outside, and you cut up on them, it's going to slow them down. They're going to stuff the brakes.
That's right.
There's another advantage point of doing a slide job if you do it correctly.
Yep. Sometimes you ain't got no choice but to just lay an elbow in there. You get there a little bit late, get them elbows out real good and wide, you know, especially like in the first turn, get out real wide and make yourself big so you can't hit handlebars, but you can hit elbows. You can do all kinds of stuff with that. I mean, I'm one of the bigger guys in my class, so if I get there first, boys, you ain't moving me. me and Mike have been on the receiving end of that more than once. He smacked me and I've smacked him. But that's just us. We don't care. We have fun with it.
I hear you. Chris, before we close out, what's your goals for this year, man?
This year is a building year. Like we mentioned earlier, I've done a lot of work this off season. I've dropped right at 62 pounds. I'm hoping to drop another 50, which is a lot of weight to get me down to what I consider my fight weight.
Yeah.
Try to work on my speed. I'm hoping to get somewhere in the neighborhood where I can actually run a few A-class races. Because in my opinion, to compete at Loretta's in the 45 plus and the 50 plus, if you're not a top 10 A rider, you might as well stay at home because you ain't going to place in the top 5, top 6 at Loretta's. I mean, the guys are just that fast nowadays.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, Mike Brown is in the 50 plus class. And if he showed up at Muddy Creek tomorrow to run the 450A class, him and Matt Burkeen would be battling each other for the win. Matt Burkeen is a freaking pro national rider.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of competition that I got to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it was last year, wasn't Mike Brown was on a 150, wasn't he? 2-stroke.
No, you're talking about at Loretta's?
Yeah. Or who was that?
That was Pro. Well, I'm drawing a link. Nickname was Pro. I can see his face. I just can't think of his name. Not Ezra Lusk.
His son races too. That's
Jeff
Ferry. Tim Ferry.
Well,
wasn't it?
The one that rode the Husqvarna 152 stroke was I just said his name. Now I've lost it again. Pro Man, dang it. As soon as you said Tim Ferry, I lost his name. Damn it. Why can't I think of his name to save my life?
Let's pull
Emig,
it
Jeff
up.
Emig. Jeff Emig.
Jeff Hemming, that's who it is.
Yeah,
That's
Jeff
who it
Hemming.
was. Yeah. Oh, Jeff.
Because, matter of fact, I was there on the starting line. Brownie was right beside him, and I was giving him down the road. He said, "You know, this thing's fast. If I can just get a hole shot." I was like, "You really think you're going to pull a hole shot against these 450s? This thing's fast. If I can just get it." And it was fast, but it couldn't. Those 450s would just eat him alive. But now he's crazy. That was the same year that Rainer showed up on that old 86 CR250 and run. I think he run top 5, top 6.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
What's the track like? I mean, everybody's talking about these gnarly conditions at Loretta's. For someone that's been there, man, give us a little bit of a background on that track.
The deepest, roughest, toughest thing you're ever going to ride. Muddy Creek that you just rode last week, times 10.
Oh, I believe it.
I mean, it is. Now, when I raced there in 86, it was different. Like I said, this was 2-stroke days. Yeah. We didn't have these big gnarly ruts. We didn't have ruts that go all the way down the straightaways and stuff like that, like they do now. We had more big sawdust berms that you could just rail. I mean, it was a lot different. Things were different. 10 Commandments were still there, but they were different too. They wasn't nothing like what they got now.
Yeah.
When I was there last year with Mike, it was absolutely. I called it slot car racing. That's what it seemed like to me. You got in a rut, you stayed in that rut the whole way around the track.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gnarly. The benefits to that is it slows the pace down. If you watch Loretta's every year, there's very few riders get hurt seriously there for that reason. It slows the pace of the track down. It makes it more technical. It makes it harder. It makes your cream of the crop will rise, which in turn is why a lot of our local riders have a hard time with it. Our local tracks don't get that rough.
No, and me and Mike Keller were just talking about that on the last podcast with running when it's raining. You go to this area of qualifiers, regionals, and then eventually up to Loretta's. Mike was saying there's one year that he went to Loretta's, and I think he said that they got like six inches of rain.
Yeah, they don't stop Loretta's for rain.
And they don't, and it just makes the track conditions way more gnarlier. And I want to get your opinion on it. Why? And it may, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but at the same time, I like to hear other people's opinions. Why are we not running these races in safe, rideable conditions? I mean, there's a difference between, it's raining, we can ride, but then there's also that complete monsoon to where you don't want to see kids wrecking and getting hurt.
Well, that's a slippery slope right there. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. The track promoters got to make money. All right. You look at the damage that's done to a track that's rode on a muddy race condition. It's going to take some substantial work to get that track back where it was at.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one side of it. The other side is you can take a track that's basically going away. You know, it's getting hard pack all the time, and have a real good hard mud race on it, because it's going to push that moisture down deep in the track. It can resurrect the track. It can bring it back. But your track owners and track promoters have got to be willing to do the work that it's going to take to get it back. And nowadays, not all of them, but some of them don't want to do that for whatever reason. You know, whether it's, fuel is way more expensive now. Equipment's way more expensive now. A lot of things change. The calling the race after one moto deal, that's one that I'll never agree with right there. I mean, we've already tore the track all to pieces. Everybody's already covered in mud. We might as well finish the day out.
Yeah.
Now, there's sometimes when I'm the guy going, man, I hope they call this after the first moto, because this is nasty. I don't even want to do it no more. This is hard.
Yeah.
However, if they said, let's run second motos, I'm going to the starting line. I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to make it happen. And I think
it brings out the true riders it brings out the real skill level of the riders that's out there too. You can have a guy that's out there smoking somebody on perfect track conditions, but they can be top 20 on a muddy track. It's
a great equalizer. Weather always has been the great equalizer. And it would also do another thing. At Loretta's, all those guys will still race because they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We've done all this work to get here. We're here. We're going to race it no matter what. The rain pours, whatever. It's going to be the same at your local tracks. The guys who stay and ride are the ones that's serious about going on and doing it. And more riders would make that decision to go ahead and go to the starting line if they were going to have a race anyway. I mean, I've seen it happen. There was a area qualifier at Thunder Valley, I believe, at Livingston, Tennessee, which is gone. And it was a monsoon. I mean, it was absolute horrible conditions. They had the option of drawing straws for placement or race the race. Probably 70% of them said race the race. Most people wouldn't have thought that would happen.
Yeah.
But more guys are willing to go ahead and put it on the line if they need to. Now, there's all kinds of sides to this. I mean, man could go round and round and round and round about this. I mean, I'm a mechanic as well as a rider. I'm thinking, what's it going to do to my bike? What kind of damage is it going to do? All my bearings, what's it going to do? Having to over rev it to fight through this mud. There's a chance I could tear my bike up. Is this race really worth that $10,000 motorcycle? As a racer, I'm thinking, let's just get it, baby. Let's go race.
Yeah.
As a dad, because both my kids race, I'm wanting them to be safe. I'm wanting them to, this is one topic that has no clear-cut answer. It's just tough.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring back some memories for you, okay?
All right.
Loretta Lynn's 125 stock, 12 to 15, 1986.
Oh God. You went looked up my archive.
You finished 23rd overall, which hey, that's good.
That ain't good either. When you're running third at least twice in those motos, but end up with them broke chain or flat tire. If you notice, none of them show all three motos.
Yeah, and your first moto you went 31st.
Yeah.
Second one was 22nd, and then the third was 14th.
Yeah. Finally, a moto where I didn't have something go crazy.
Yeah.
I should have also been there in a schoolboy, I believe was the other one I was in.
Yep, I'm about to pull that up too for you. No, it was just 125 stock, 12 to 15 in 1986, and then you had 250B stock in 1986.
Oh, that's the two I went. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll see the two DNFs. I'm guessing that's where you had your issues and stuff.
Broken chain. I'll never forget that race as long as I live. Second moto, I've got a crappy start, 15th. I think Dad said I was 15th. I thought I was last. Dad said I was 15th. 2 laps later, I'm making a pass for second, right in front of the big Goodyear trailer. Dad's standing there talking to him. We're talking sponsors and all this stuff. I land and chain goes. I rolled and stopped right in front of them. There ain't nothing I can do, boys. I'm done. I just started down and walked to the pits. Like, I'm over it, Dad. I'm done. I'm doing all I can do, brother.
Yeah.
And that year we were promised by my sponsor, which I'm not going to throw that name out there, but our sponsor promised us new equipment going into Loretta's. We got no new equipment. We went down there on old wore out stuff. Our first trip there, we didn't know at the time the sand section, what they have now, where it's all sandy around that beach corner.
Yeah.
That was old river rock in the day. And it was little sharp edged rocks. We had 4 flats that whole week that we were down there.
Oh my God.
We finally ended up getting some Carlisle red dot tires. I don't even think they make them anymore, but they were a 6 or an 8 ply tire that kept us from getting flats where we could finally make some motos. It was a rough week for us. Yeah. But oh well, I mean, it is what it is. I can say I went. Which, with that being said, what you just pulled up and showed is exactly why I don't want to go to Loretta's unless I can be competitive. I mean,
I understand that.
I qualified 2 years ago to go while I was injured and I could barely walk. And I was like, I'm not going down there, spending all that money and staying a week to run around in 30th position. I'm just not going to do it. If I can't run top 5, I ain't going.
Yeah. I see where you're talking, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it, or my view on it. As a kid, watching a lot of these pros race Loretta's or race local races, just being able to make it to Loretta's, that's like at the top of the list to check off, man.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I don't care if I'm last place. It's still the fact that you put the work in to get where you're at now.
And I support that 100% for anybody who hasn't been. You got to make it there at least once. Everybody should. I mean, like you said, if you go as an alternate, I don't care. You just make it there. You get that bib that says Loretta Lynn's on it, that you were there, dude. That's
the biggest and the best trophy you can ever get.
There's no better feeling. I can remember getting mine the first time. I can remember. I still have it. I mean, if I can dig it out of the closet, I hold it up here, but it's an amazing thing. And even if you haven't been to Loretta's, even as a fan to watch, I would recommend going. It's something that you're not going to see again unless you do it, you know?
Yeah. And I want to give a quick shout out to a buddy of mine, Ricky Jackson. He's not missing area qualifiers since the beginning of the year. He's had bad luck. He's got cheated out of a regional ticket. And then he went to Aona Pass this weekend and got it done. He got hurt. He finished second in 250C, but he made a dumb decision, decided to run 30 plus and was not trying to qualify, but he got hurt. He's kind of sidelined for a little bit, but we got some good news today. No surgery is necessary, and he's off the bike for 5 weeks, which gives him 3 weeks after that 5 to get back on it and start training for his regional down in Florida in Gatorback.
If I've got the same Ricky Jackson in mind, ain't he about 31, 32 years old?
He's 30.
30? I thought
number 9. We call him Ricky Bobby Jackson.
Ricky Bobby Jackson. That's number 94, I believe, ain't it?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen him and my buddy Bobo battle each other quite a few times in the 30-plus class.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm showing favoritism to any rider in general, but it's just the fact I've seen what Ricky's had to deal with in the past. And for him to put all that bullcrap aside and put his foot down and say, hey, I'm making it to Loretta's at Birch Creek. And he's got a video of it, the last lap. He said, hey, count these bikes in front of me and tell me what position I'm in. You seen first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And then he was 6th. So he would have gotten a ticket for the regional, but they counted him in 7th. And I was like, dude, why don't you go and protest that? He's like, it's cool. It's cool. I get it. If they want me to do it the hard way, I'm going to do it. We're off to Georgia to get it done. And he got it done.
Main thing is he got it done. That's right, dude. That is awesome. Hey, I support anybody that's putting in the work, man. I don't care who they are. If they're putting in the work, heck yeah, I'm cheering for them. I'm around their side.
Let's touch on one more thing before we finish this off. And dude, I know that when I messaged you at first about this interview, you were kind of about it. But dude, I'm having a blast right now.
Well, cool. I'm having a good time too.
For new riders coming into the sport, what kind of tips or pointers can you give to them to where, they line up on the gate? I remember my first time lining up on the gate for 250D, and I just felt like, oh boy. And then you're over there trying to talk to these other riders, and it's just like, you don't know anything that you're talking about, but you're still trying to fit in. If there's a group of guys out there who A, B, C, whatever class it is, if there's a new guy coming in, I feel like it should be like a priority. I'm not going to say a priority, but it should be in the mindset. Okay, here's a new guy. Let's go over there, introduce ourselves, ask if he needs any help with anything. Like, don't be stuck up at the tracks. Like, that's going to deprive them from wanting to come back. But what can you give to a new rider coming into the sport? Tips, pointers, whatever the case may be.
Well, the first thing I tell them is don't look for your competitors for help.
Yeah.
Because that's the key word is competitors. They look over at a new guy and they're thinking, okay, I got this one. He's a new guy. I got an edge on him, so I'm good. It's not that they're being stuck up. It's not that they're being anything else. They're there to compete too.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the new guy, that's looking for pointers or looking for help, look for your age class riders. Those are the guys that are willing to take time to help you, to coach you. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Hang out at the starting line. Talk to the other riders that you aren't on the line with. Find out what they're doing. Watch what they're doing. The number one most important thing I can say to any brand new riders coming out there: no expectations. Don't show up thinking I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. None. Do not do that. Go to a track and say, let's just go see what it's all about. See if I like it. Putting expectations on yourself is nothing but a road to disaster.
Asking for an injury.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily an injury. You're asking for disappointment.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, if you go there thinking, dude, I'm good, I got this, I'm gonna go run top 5, you end up getting 15th, automatically you're like, man, what's this? But if you go there honestly believing and understanding, I'm new, I'm brand new, I need to just see where I'm at, find out where I'm, and go have some fun. Number one thing is have fun.
Yeah.
Even you to this day, even me, if I ain't having fun, I ain't gonna want to do it very long. Unfortunately, once you get to a certain level, it ain't fun unless you're winning. Then that sucks.
Yeah.
Then it gets difficult. But as a beginner rider, that would be my number one thing. That, and talk to some people prior, go to a race or two before you decide to go line up and race. See how it all goes down. I see so many guys show up with just blue jeans, work boots, a t-shirt, and an old helmet. Granted, that may be all they have, but that's somebody that's liable to get hurt. That's the scary part for me. Is I wish more people would pay a little more attention to their safety aspect. I see so many young riders that don't even wear knee pads. Dude, you only get one set of knees in your life. I mean, you can go have surgery and have them fixed, but
that's me, man. Those back-to-back years I had my ACL surgery, dude, it really it just sucks, because after a rough track such as, Muddy Creek, you feel the after effects of it. But if you go ahead and take the safety precautions and measurements, it kind of eliminates the chance of something happening. And I want to bring up something funny. I was telling my fiance the other day, we just got done racing 221, and we go to take a shower, and I hop in the shower, and I immediately hop out. She's like, "What's wrong?" And she looks down at my legs, and she sees my knees, and they're just raw blisters from where the bike's rubbing up against my knees. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, either these pants are too thin, or it's because I'm holding on to the bike more now than I was. So first thing now I'm going to get this week when I get my paycheck, some knee pads.
There you go. At least pads. I mean, I'm a preacher of knee braces. I'm all about them. I mean, I know they're very expensive, but I can name you several times that the knee braces have saved my knees.
Yeah.
If you could see my knees right now from the wreck I took at Muddy Creek, when it catapulted me over the bars, the handlebars got under my pads, which is inside my braces, and cut both the tops of my knees. Both my knees were black and blue all the way around. Everywhere you touch on my knees were black and blue. However, since I was wearing CTI Assura knee braces, I got zero pain in my knees other than just surface bruises.
Yeah.
Now, had I not been wearing those knee braces, I'd have probably broken both as hard as it hit. But the braces done their job. Now, there's a lot of big pro guys out there. Rhino's one of them. Ryan Hughes, it says knee braces restrict a rider. That may be true. They may restrict him a little bit, but I would rather be able to walk off the track and be restricted than to have to be carted off the track and be unrestricted, in my opinion.
Another topic on safety, safety gear and stuff. Do you agree with the AMA making a rule for anyone, I think it's under the age of 17, must have a chest protector?
I think any person riding a dirt bike should wear a chest protector. Anybody that's ever took a rock in the chest off of one of these 450s, you ain't gonna have to tell them but once to wear a chest protector.
It hurts. I'm one of those guys. I fall in that category. I don't wear it. My dad made me wear one as a kid, just riding around in the yard, and I hated it. And
man, these new ones, dude, they're nothing but a roof protector, really, that you wear under your jersey.
Used to have the elbow or the shoulder pads and plastic.
Right. All you got's a little bit of sternum protection and a little bit of back protection.
Yeah, I
And
definitely want to get one of those too, because I took some nasty roosts from 221 on that uphill this past weekend. And I went back to the pit and I just raised my shirt up and you could see the bruising already starting. I'm like, oh
and
my
you're
God.
lucky it's just bruises. I started to say I've seen a rock hit the top of a 6D helmet and knock a chunk that big around in it. If that would have hit you on your sternum, it'd have broke it. It'd have cracked it. It'd have broke the skin. Whereas wearing a roost protector, it would have just bounced off and you're just good to go. So I'm a 100% firm believer in some things, like the horse collars, the neck braces. I don't agree with those. And so many people ask me why, and I just don't. I think they'll snap your collarbone, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Leap makes a really good one. They make a big chest protector. It all ties together. But I've got to be able to do this.
Yeah.
If I can't do this, I can't ride. That's me. I mean, that's my thing.
I've been on the edge of getting a neck brace just for safety reasons, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, well, I wore one when I raced 4-wheelers, and it was just so uncomfortable.
Fix your knees before you worry about the neck brace.
Yeah,
your knees get tortured every single bump, every single corner, every single thing. Your neck brace is only if you wreck.
Yeah.
You don't even have to wreck to hurt. You don't even have to wreck to hurt a knee.
No.
You stick a knee out in a rut and it gets run over with nothing protecting it. Yeah, boy.
Or if you catch her up with your leg, I mean, it could hyperextend it. You got multiple ligaments in there, your ACL being one of them. And those ACLs are not fun.
No.
But I've also seen riders finish out their pro seasons with torn ACLs.
Yeah, they can usually work with a tear in their ACL, depending on how severe it is, what severity it is. If it's completely blown in two, then you're in trouble.
I think Levi Kitchen is running right now with a torn ACL, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty sure he is. One of the guys that I race against, a really good, fast rider, Alan Alford, who rides in our class, is riding with a tear in his ACL right now. I mean, I know how they feel. I dealt with a jacked up hip for 2 years, tried to ride that way. I mean, I'd have to get on a stand in order to step on the bike because I couldn't pick my leg up. Thank God for push button start, or I'd have been in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't no kicking one.
That was one thing when I was in the market for a new bike this year, because my Husqvarna got stolen at 221. Well, I don't even want to talk about that, but I'm grateful that I had people out there that loaned me bikes to finish out the season last year. But I've never hated a kickstart as much as I have a Honda kickstart.
You ain't gonna turn into Kickstart Kenny anytime soon?
No, negative. I got too spoiled with that push start, man. And it's not only the fact I don't want to do it, but I mean, with the surgeries I've had on my knee, I mean, I'm limited to how much pressure I can put on that knee or use it to kick down on the bike. And if you kick it too many times, it's just, you're going to be in more pain. Not to mention you go down in the corner and you're just wore out. Dude, I've went down in the corner last year at Top Gun and I couldn't get the bike started, so I just pushed the bike over and walked to the pit.
I'd say we've all been there at some point or another in our lifetime.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I appreciate you coming on here, man.
I appreciate the invite, man. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely do it again, man.
Maybe I'll have some more wins along the way to brag about and tell you about.
Yeah. Hey, next time, if you want to, we can bring your son and your daughter on here too.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, get the whole team on here. That'd be cool.
Yes, sir. When's your next race?
Was supposed to be at south of the border, April 1st and 2nd, but where I'm still dealing with these bruised ribs and stuff, I just really didn't want to make that trip, me not being healthy. So the next race will be Lake Sugar Tree, April the 15th, 16th.
I hear you. So, and then that's for your series up there in Tennessee that you're running.
Yeah, that's all part of the mega series.
Yeah. We'll be at Muddy Creek on the 15th for the Outlaw Series.
Oh, you're kidding me. Muddy Creek's running on the 15th, the same as Sugar Tree?
Yeah.
Why would they do that? That is not fair. I have not missed a single race at Muddy Creek since I came back to racing in 16. I don't care if it's a hot summer night, it's Carolina Outlaw, whatever. As a matter of fact, I love it when they do the hot summer nights, the shortened track when they take the bomber out. It's just
Yeah,
fun to me. It flows.
it
It's
is.
just fun because it's a
And
different track.
coming off of that bomber, dude, trying to get that right hand turn, dude. I seen it. I came off of the bomber, and I seen this dude just completely jump off of or that little ski jump, and he went into the field. And as I'm coming down, I'm braking. I got my eyes on the rut, and all of a sudden, I just see this blue Yamaha come up and just T-bone me. I'm just like, bro, are you serious? I mean, it caused me to give it throttle and caused my bad leg to kind of extend a little bit too much. And I try to stand up and I couldn't stand up. I'm like, freak, here we go. But I sat there for a minute. I kept on moving my knee back and forth because the main symptom of a torn ACL is you don't have full range of motion.
Right.
So I realized I was good on that. I got back up on the bike and we were going around a turn and I see him. I'm just like, clean pass. Should I kind of give him an elbow? But I'm the kind of rider that, everybody makes mistakes. It was a D class race, whatever.
He was just trying to get back on the track, man.
He was just trying to get back on the track. But I had this one guy at 221 this past weekend come up after the race of 450D. I could hear the dude on the two-stroke behind me just revving it up. And after the finish line, he comes up to my pit, grabs my helmet, and says, "Get the heck out of my way." I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but I'm just like, bro, are you serious? One gate drop, one race. I'm not going to let you pass me. We're fighting for positions. Well, I talked to him the other day on Facebook, and he said that he thought I was somebody else.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, so I'm starting to get some rivals. That's going to be lovely. Got to deal with them. But anyways, we're not going to get into
before we get
issues.
off here, if you want to go look up something fun, we're just talking about people losing their head. I believe it's called the Brawl Down South. It happened at an arena cross when I was working for Nick Gaines at the time. And him and Joey Crown was having a pretty good little battle. Joey Crown kind of cross-jumped him a little bit. And me being who I am, I kind of let my emotions get a little out of whack. And you see Joey Crown come off the track. He's wearing a big GoPro on his head. And the first thing you see is me right in his face. Boy, what do you think you're doing? And you see Nick Gaines jump off the bike and tackle Joey. It was not one of my better moments. I mean, the next day I immediately messaged Joey and said, "Dude, I'm sorry. It's just not the kind of person I want to be. Just I let my emotions get the best of me. Sorry." It was nasty. It turned into a big old nasty brawl at that moment.
But in the heat of the moment, everybody's out there battling for their positions and everybody's racing. But it takes a real man to apologize after the fact.
Well, there was a little more than just positions. Both Joey and Nick was just doing this race for some extra pocket money to get ready for the East Coast Supercross. It was only 2 weeks away till we went to Supercross, and they cross jumped each other right on that big finish line triple. If they'd have hit, neither one of them was going to the arena cross. I mean, to the big show. Neither one of them. They're done. They're going to be hurt, and that's what fueled me up. It's like, boys, this race is not that important to kill each other right here. Yeah. I want to say that's what it's called. It's on Mike Visor's page on YouTube, but I wish it was gone because I see it from time to time, and there's my big face walking right up that camera. Like,
what was the name of that? So I'm gonna watch it as soon as we get off. What was the name of it?
I want to say they called it the Brawl Down South. I think is what it was called. Let's see if I pull it up on Visor's page. Boy, that brought up a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Not what I was looking for either.
No. Well, just find that video whenever you find it. Just send it to me, man.
There it is. Local arena. Nope, that's Matt Barkeen's local crashes. But it looked a lot like it. But yeah, I'll find it. I'll link it to you. It's something. It's something worth watching anyway. If you want to see me look like an idiot. So that's what I felt like looking back on it. It's like, man, I cannot believe that I let myself do that.
I hear you. And guys, I'm gonna try to get Chris to send some videos of him riding. So after this video, I'm gonna try to put those in, and y'all can watch him ride and whatnot. But if y'all have not met Chris, he's a great guy, very friendly, and his whole crew is just full of good spirit. So, Chris, we appreciate you bringing the good spirits to the track, and keep up the hard work, and it'll pay off, and it'll be worth it in the long
We're trying,
run.
brother. Again, thanks for the invite to come on your podcast, man. It's a lot of fun. I haven't been interviewed since, the last time I was interviewed was 1985, I think, by WXBQ when I won the Pepsi Eastern Continental Championship. So, yeah, it's been a minute.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Well, glad to see you in good spirits. You're looking good, man. So just keep up the good work, and you got it.
Thank you, brother. You too, man. Keep working. Take
All right,
care,
Chris,
Devin.
take care.
See you, buddy. Bye.